Hello everybody, it is Neo Green here, and I have grappled with how to get this content to you guys, and you know what? If you're like me, I like things in short bursts. For instance, if there's a YouTube video and it's over 5 minutes, for example, I'm more apt to pass that one and go with the shorter version. So my assumption is you guys are gonna be like me in that regard, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm going to leave you hanging. If you need me to go over things that aren't covered in the 5 minutes, because I'm going to force myself to stop, you just have to let me know, and I will definitely either create something else or we can handle it together. We can discuss it. But this document is called the Unpacked TPA Rubrics, or Unpacked edTPA Rubrics, and rubrics are great. Most of you have had some experience with it, but I really appreciate them as a student because you know exactly what you have to do to get the grade that you want. And for our purposes, through this series of videos, because there are 15 rubrics for the edTPA, I'm going to limit myself to 5 minutes each to discuss some of the key characteristics of each rubric, because some of the language in the rubrics can be a bit confusing. So this is an introduction to that, and this document talks about authentic artifacts and evidence, and it's a resource for faculty and supervisors, but they're highly encouraged to share it with you, so I encourage you to go over this with your supervisors who also have this document, and then it gives you the 4 kind of distinctions, or how scores are distinguished between a 3 and a 4, etc. And just to be clear, 3 is where we start. 3 does not mean a C. 3 out of 5 on the rubric does not mean a C. It's passing. That's where you start. And of course, I want you to be a 4 or 5, but we have to start at 3. We're not even going to think about 1 or 2. We're starting with 3. And this document gives deeper explanations for rubric guiding questions, key terms, primary sources of evidence. So that is where I keep telling you in here and in my classes, you have to provide evidence. That doesn't mean we don't believe you. That just is what academic writing is all about. You have to find somebody else who said what you are trying to get across and support it with research and evidence from an expert. That's where your texts come in. Okay, and then rubric specific scoring decision rules. Again, it'll tell you, like it says in number 5, to distinguish between a 3 and a 4, or 3 and a 2, a 1 and a 2, etc. And then it gives you some scoring decision rules that the people who are going to be grading this are going to think about. So they're going to look for a preponderance of the evidence. And there are cases where you're going to have the more resources the better, but there is a primary resource, and then anything after that where there's multiple, it's going to be multiple resources. There's going to be a primary and a secondary resource. Your primary resource should be the strongest, but secondary resources are great, and they support your decision making even more. Alright, so, and then it goes into a little bit of developmentally appropriate practice. Language like the whole child, you'll see that a lot. That means the whole child meet their developmental, cultural, and linguistic strengths and needs. That is considering the whole child, and you're going to do that. It goes on to discuss what that means, and I'm not going to read that to you, but here we go. So the learning environment, you want to learning environment that supports the whole child and provides a healthy, respectful, supportive, and challenging context for learning. Alright, so that's number 1. And again, I didn't read that to you because you can do that yourself, but that gives you the brief background. And for the next video, we are going to get into, remember, there are 15 of these, so we're going to get into the first one. And look at this. According to my watch, I still have 37 seconds left. Alright.